Thank you, and thank you for the invitation, the opportunity to share with you an opinion for a topic, viewing this topic from a different prism, and I hope it provides some useful points to the agenda. I was thinking, why are we interested in biodiversity? Why are we looking for ways to reverse biodiversity degradation? Of course, it is for the sake of the species that share the planet. Of course, it is for the sake of the ecosystems in the biosphere, the habitats, the biotic communities on the planet. But let us not forget that biodiversity is crucial for us because it contributes to ecosystem stability, resilience, and productivity. Biodiversity provides a range of ecosystem services that are essential for human survival and well-being, like food, clean air and water, and pollination of crops. It also is vital for a range of other services that support climate stability, that support nutrition, nutrient cycling, and also pollution degradation. Biodiversity degradation reduces or degrades these services and causes major and profound ecosystem imbalance and environmental impacts. So therefore, any discussion on biodiversity degradation is about our survival. It is about us. And as a professor in physiology, as a person who specializes their research on the interplay or the interconnection between health and environment, looking at how environmental factors affect our well-being, our health, and our productivity, I'd like to bring three brief points into this discussion. Number one, how the connection between biodiversity and health, and I hope I did that in my brief introduction. Number two, that rising biodiversity degradation has rising costs for our health and well-being. And third, hopefully to offer some suggestions for local and global policy responses. Talking about rising levels of degradation of biodiversity and how they impact health makes me think about a presentation I gave at the UN Committee for Peaceful Uses of Outer Space many years ago. And then it was about the impacts of near-Earth objects, comets and asteroids, and how they would, in a hypothetical scenario of an impact, how would that affect our survivability? And obviously, in that case, the larger the object, the harder it would hit the planet, the greater the environmental impact and the less chances of our survival. It's exactly the same here. With every degree of increase in biodiversity degradation, we have increasingly serious impacts on our health and on humans. For example, mild degradation is expected to decrease pollination of crops. This will reduce agricultural yields. It will affect food security, increase prices, and of course impact supply chains. Moderate degradation of biodiversity would do a number of things. For example, reduce water quality, which will make it a lot more complex and more expensive for us to process water for human consumption. And extreme biodiversity degradation would lead, of course, to climate change acceleration due to, for example, loss of large carbon sinks such as rainforests, which will have tremendous effects on the environment. So each degree of biodiversity leads not only to environmental impacts, but it affects health, economy, well-being, and quality of life. And our own survival depends on the degree at which we will decide to stop biodiversity loss. And the question is, of this symposium is, can we actually do this? Well, the two previous speakers said that we can, and most evidence shows that yes, we can. Although it is a lot more difficult to do it than it was 30 years ago, for example, at the end of the previous century. With every year passing, of course, the problem is getting bigger, But of course, so is our ability to address it. We know much more than we did 30 years ago, and we can do much more to solve the problem than we could 30 years ago. So what can we do? At the local level, for example, we can support community-based conservation initiatives. We can implement urban biodiversity programs and invest in environmental education at all levels, making sure that we increase the connection with nature and highlight the importance of biodiversity for our societies. At the global level, of course, we need to increase and strengthen international agreements, support further global collaboration, and promote the Sustainable Development Goals. And as a person coming from the intersection between health and environment, I have another final suggestion, which I think can contribute to this. I think we need more cross-sector integration between health and environment. We need to make sure that societies understand the impacts on health, the impacts on them, really, and making sure that every health policy includes and takes into account the environment, and every environmental policy considers and takes into account health. Thank you.